In the evening, shooting starts in Marinka. The shelling comes from the Russia-led separatists. From the centre of Marinka to the Petrovsky district of Donetsk, it's half an hour by foot. This beige building in front of the slag heap is part of the Zeleniy Hai Street. Before the war, it was considered a prestigious part of the Marinka. Since 2014, it has been constantly under fire. There is almost nothing left of the houses. Between Zeleniy Hai and the self-proclaimed DNR, there are only 500 metres of no man's land. For the Ukrainian military, this is already the front line. The road leading to Zeleniy Hai starts after that gas station. The Ukrainian military checkpoint is the last place you can freely drive up to. They don't let you go any further.
First they took this street because there was a hospital here. And then our street.
Before this, 57 families lived in Zeleniy Hai. For the fourth year now, they're living with relatives or renting apartments in neighbouring cities. Before the war, there was an orphanage in Zeleniy Hai, where all the residents of the micro-district worked. Vadym Misyura is one of them. He is currently renting an apartment in Kurakhove, 20 kilometres from Marinka.
You see, considering that we worked in a school for orphans, I personally didn't have time to follow everything that was happening. Because it was May, the end of the school year. We noticed the checkpoints appeared in the city. But again, Zeleniy Hai is separated from the rest of Marinka. It's like a little town.
He remembers how the war began in Marinka. In the summer of 2014, fierce fighting broke out in Marinka. Most of the city came under the control of the Ukrainian military, but Zeleniy Hai Street remained a buffer zone between the Ukrainian military and separatist checkpoints. Most of the residents left Zeleniy Hai, but they continued to visit their homes.
There's no automobile access to this territory. The roads are all blocked. There are only small trails, and people use these small paths to get to their homes during the daytime by bike. This is how it usually happened. People called each other up. 5 or 6 families formed a group. They take the path in the daytime and stay there until around 3-4 p.m. in the summer. They patch something up, repair a roof, cover up cracked glass.
In June 2015, fighting started in Marinka again. The town was recaptured from the separatists. Ukrainian soldiers were stationed on Zeleniy Hai Street. Residents were banned from entering the territory.
There was already a checkpoint standing there, and we were told that entry is prohibited. You can't go there.
Since then, residents have begun to appeal to different authorities, asking them to permit them entry to their homes. In August 2015, they were taken there under the control of a civil-military cooperation group. They are called CIMIC. They are an intermediary between military forces on the front and civilians.
There were no household appliances. Many photos were left behind, personal belongings, memorabilia. Well, people lived there. Nobody had moved out.
The door was broken, shot through to the point it didn't open. The furniture was ruined. They opened the closet, broke it. Not everything was in the place. For the first time, then they came and most of everything was stolen.
The last time people were able to get into their homes was in the beginning of 2016. After that, the authorities closed off access. The local civil-military admission explains that they did this for the safety of the residents.
For example, in 2016, when we went there, fairly serious shelling started, and the servicemen with whom we visited the area were basically defending people with their bodies. It just so happens that this area, Zeleniy Hai, is located on the line of demarcation, as is the active fighting, which unfortunately is still going on there. It's happening practically along the entire line in Marinka, but the most aggressive fighting is there.
Residents say that, most of all, they want to return home, but this is impossible. Therefore, they have decided to sue the state for the loss of their housing and property as a result of the military action. Close to 30 cases have already been brought to court. The defendants in these cases are the Ukrainian Cabinet of Ministers, the State Treasury and the Ministry of Defence. Hromadske asked the defendants to comment on these claims. We did not receive an answer in time, but we are awaiting an official response, which we will disclose when we receive it. However, lawyers are certain that there is a chance they will win the cases, but there is no precedent for this in Ukraine, even though residents along the whole contact line face the same problem.
There are testimonies, there are before photos, there are after photos, that is, at least a small part of this we can be proved. But there is also another difficulty, we are also demanding moral compensation.
Yes, there really is a law on mobilization, but there is no implementation order. It is written that the state should compensate people, but who exactly is not mentioned. These costs are not covered in the budget, there is no martial law and no state of emergency. If we compare the practice of the European Court again, in the European Court there are lawsuits such as Cyprus against Turkey. That is, the citizens of Cyprus filed lawsuits, and there, because of the lack of access to their property, certain compensation was awarded. So if our courts apply the norms of the Constitution, the decision of the European Court of Human Rights, the norms of the European Convention, the law on mobilization, I believe that these claims can be successful.
The civil-military administration in Marinka says that, until the war ends, there can be no talk of compensation. The local government assures that they are doing everything they can.
Whenever there was the opportunity to help, we helped them. Any materials that they needed from us, we provided. These are documents about the destruction, photographs, and so on. Compensation, unfortunately, will be possible only in the event that the anti-terrorist operation ends, according to the final provision of the law on the fight against terrorism.
Until recently, Vadym Misyura did not want to go to court. He considers himself a patriot of Ukraine and hoped that the state would still provide him with housing instead of ruins. Misyura says that he has no grievances with the army, but after 4 years of waiting, he is tired. He is currently preparing the documents for the lawsuit.
I will sue for damages. That is, I'm not going to sue the army because I understand why they are there. But I would like the state to help compensate me for the damage caused by the fighting and to help restart my life practically from scratch.